Okay, this is about drama. I mean,
Yeah.
if you expect to find a woman and not encounter drama, you're living in la la land.
Mm-hmm.
Women create drama. They crave it.
What they crave is feeling. They crave feeling something, and drama. I would say that drama is a cheap trick in that sense. It works.
Yeah, the PUA community know it works too.
Yeah. Well,
They give them a little dose of it, spike them, let them go.
Right.
Watch them come back.
It works. Like that. That's
It works.
the reason. I mean, these women, they're all complaining about all these misogynists, right? And in the red pill. They're not really complaining about the red pill. They're complaining about the fact that there's a group of men who figured women out. That's what they actually don't like.
The jig is up. The jig is up.
So women are always going to create drama because they need to feel something. And I've seen a lot of red pill guys. They say, "Oh, well, you need to make your woman feel something all the time." Right? You know, she's got to be drip fed drama every day. You know, and I look at it and I go, I mean, you're not wrong, but there's different levels of drama. And the other thing I would say is be careful about the drama that you invite into your life, because there is drama. Yes, she's feeling something, but as Steve was saying, when the hens get together in the kitchen and they start telling you, you know, the wife about how terrible your guy is for this reason and that reason, yeah, that's inviting drama into your life. You know, so yeah, that's the red pill thing. Yeah, there's drama there, sure, but it's corrosive, self-destructive drama. I mean, yeah, she's getting her daily dose, but it's directed at you.
She doesn't need drama every day.
Well, she also gets addicted to the drama. If the more
Right.
you give her that drama, the more she's going to demand. And then what will you do?
It's actually a dopamine thing. So
Mhm.
drama is an emotion, or drama creates emotions. Emotions cause various adrenal and dopamine dumps in your brain. You can build up a dopamine resistance, so you need ever more amounts of it. So that's
So, what about if a guy shows restraint, or, you know, restrains her and enforces boundaries one day to help her calm down, and then the next day, or a couple days later, whatever, he kind of teases her a bit, or she comes at, you know, makes some accusation, and he agree and amplify to actually promote the emotions, or does something a little bit irritating to like mildly piss her off and then make fun of it and then soothe her down. Oh, gee, she's getting that emotional variability. Is this a good thing?
yeah. That this is the flip side of what I was saying about, you know, so on the red pill side, oh yeah, drama's, you know, you have to don't okay, so but don't let it be the clucking hens in the kitchen. No, you've got to be the source of it, because women attach emotions to every person. I feel this way about that person. You hear it all the time. She doesn't really care what emotion she feels. It could be a good emotion or a bad emotion. She just wants to feel something. And so when the clucking hens in the kitchen get together and they start trashing the husband, well, that makes her feel really not good about the guy. I picked a terrible guy. All these other women think I picked a terrible guy. When the guy creates emotions, you know, you could say, oh, well, he's creating negative emotions. Well, maybe, but they're not necessarily directed at him.
So if you're always trying to calm down your woman, just bring her back to ground. Don't let the emotions overrun you. Oh, man, that makes you boring.
Mm-hmm.
You're a wet blanket. You're trying to take the fun and excitement out of her life. That's all you do.
Yeah, I don't always calm Elena down. I calm her down when she gets in over her skis, and some I have to stop her. Like, guys, I mean, you've seen her social media. You can tell that I'm not always restraining her. I saw that.
Oh man, just look at her. What's on her face?
Uh-huh.
Man, she is deep in thought, thinking about this. It's time to hear from Elena. What's going through your mind, Elena?
I don't feel good about this live stream anymore. I'm not that excited about it.
Well, but am I wrong? Do I always restrain your emotions?
Yes.
I don't.
It feels like you do.
There it is,
Oh,
guys.
feelings.
There it is. Well, now I'm going to translate that. It feels like I'm always restraining her emotions because every time I restrain her emotions, she doesn't like it. She's not remembering all the times I didn't restrain her emotions. We've actually had conversations where it's like, okay, you took that one too far, and I have to come in and I have to do damage control on the back end. That's the case where maybe some more restraint was necessary than was actually applied. But again, a lot of this conversation right now is the back end that I'm pulling back the curtains on the back end that no one ever sees on the content creator social media side of things. It's
Well, let me point something else out. Women are so afraid of being wrong.
mm-hmm.
That's why Elena doesn't like this stream. It's highlighting her. And he feels, maybe I'm wrong. No, you're not wrong. Chill out. We all love you, okay?
Okay.
You're fine. There was an example in the last week where she responded to a message. She sent a message. And because she neglected it, and then boom, did it just to get it out. And then we kind of discussed it and said, well, you could have said this, you could have said that. Oh, man. Her first reaction was, I was wrong. I'm going to have to check with all you guys and blah, 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 blah. Just kind of spiraling it. And, this was in text. I said, no, chill out. Calm down.
Mm-hmm.
This was trivial. There was no repercussions. It was kind of a non-event. But we did have some comments. You could have said this a little better. You could have drafted something and then waited a day and sent it, or talked to someone else before you sent it. And it could have been so much better. But there was no damage. There wasn't anything. You weren't wrong. You were a bit rash. That's not a criticism. That's trying to help a woman. But the first thing she goes to is, I was wrong. I guess I'm not going to ever do anything again. I'm exaggerating here. I am exaggerating.
Mhm.
Only a little bit.
My point is that good women do this, bad women do this, all women do this. Guys, if you think you're going to find a woman who doesn't do this, and if you're going to criticize her for
Fighting
doing
against
this,
nature.
you're wrong. And you're going to have to actually tell her, hey, this really wasn't a big deal. You were not wrong. But you know what? Men understand this. If I do something that's not wrong, and some other guy comes up to me and says, well, you could have done this and it would have turned out even better. That would have been a better thing to do. You go, oh, okay. I mean, at least good men do that.
Yeah.
Oh, you have to you have to push on these things with women, and that creates drama. But then you actually have to assure them in the process, no, you weren't wrong. No, I still love you. No, just
Yep.
don't worry about it. You have to have that in there too.
Well, as a side note to this, you guys remember in the 90s there was that phrase, "It takes a village to raise a child."
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to repurpose it. It takes a village to manage a woman. And the reason I say that is because if you taking this out of, just Elena here for a second, if you look at all of the quote unquote good women, the ones that guys are like, she's wife material, they all have an army, a small army, but they all have an army of men around them who check them. Okay. And that's dad. It could be brothers. It could be, if they have no brothers and no dad, you would hope that it would be something like the church. It's not anymore typically, but like the fewer men, one of the things that we've noticed and we were talking about earlier this week is that it takes all three of us sometimes to keep her in check. Right? It can't always be me who's the disciplinarian, which I know, bad word, right? Because then she just comes to see me as the enemy. And that ain't healthy either for a relationship. So for you women out there, if you don't have different men in your lives checking your behavior, you're going to, you're not going to have a successful relationship of any duration for one, but you're also going to struggle with your own emotions. You're going to keep finding yourself flying off the handle at this thing or that thing, blowing up relationships, even with other girlfriends. And like, you can't ever seem to get settled and stable in life. Yeah. That's a lack of men in your life.
Well, your girlfriends are going to try and pander to your emotions and inflame them and destroy. Just have you act and destroy your marriage. So to counter that gaggle of girlfriends needs to be countered by, well, an army or at least a group of men to provide that calming influence. Because otherwise it's one man, your husband, against you and your gaggle of girlfriends. That is not good. That's not good odds.
Well, right, because it makes the man the enemy. It's part of the reason why the sisterhood is so good at convincing women to give up their men, because the sisterhood winds up the married woman, gets her all angry and emotional, and she's starting to feel these emotions, and then she's already wound up, goes back to her guy, starts bitching him out, and then he has to calm her down. Now, there's two ways he can calm her down. He can use the restraint method, or he can use the acquiescence method. Just give up and say, yes, sweetie, you're right. Okay. That one, of course, is going to prove everything about what her girlfriends are saying, that he's a weak man and she could do better. Okay. So acquiescence doesn't work. And if you go the restraint method, well, he's abusive. You can't, you need to ditch him. So as a man, there's no, if you're the only restraint in her life, if you're the only one, then you're always the one. You become the you become the enemy of everybody and everything. You can't be the only restraint in a woman's life, because she's just going to learn to hate you from everyone and everything else.
So, Elena, are you feeling any better about the stream yet?
Yeah, I'm fine. I don't take it personally, guys.